Hi guys, it's Ducky. The last video I did for these types of relaxing games had an astonishing number of views, and I am so happy that you all enjoyed my recommendations. Even better, you all took to the comments to either recommend titles of your own or to let me know what you play to relax, which I absolutely love. There were so many things that I hadn't heard of. While the last video focused on things more in line with the wholesome and cozy genre, I wanted to dive into some other types of games that you could still take your time with, but that weren't necessarily just cozy. Something with some adventure, maybe some puzzles, just some extra flair. I feel like I did a disservice not including Satisfactory in my first video. As many people informed me, both in the comments and through various other means, Satisfactory is the epitome of a chill game. And I agree with you. It's hard to find another game where it's so easy to lose yourself in the logistics, or where I can so easily see others lose themselves. I've been told many times, so I dreamed about my factory last night, and I get it. There is always something to build and plan and collect, and there's even a story in the game, though it is honestly a background narrative to complement the overall crafting/building focus of the game. Now, I don't personally know anyone, myself included, that has actually beat the story of Satisfactory. It is way too easy to get swept up in exploring and building the perfect system, many of which are beyond the actual definition of satisfactory. If you like logistics, planning, striving for perfection, while also ignoring the fact that you are, in essence, exploiting a planet for its natural resources, this will more than likely be a hit. You can play this game on PC, but starting on November 4th, 2025, you'll also be able to check it out on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. So, like many of you, my first virtual photography game was Pokemon Snap. It's honestly a genre that I largely ignored simply because there never seemed to be anything else. You just took pictures in the game, and I didn't understand the appeal of not having some sort of thing, mission, or quest to do. Eastshade is a game that solves that problem. While you are a traveling painter capturing different beautiful landscapes, you're also in the middle of an adventure game. There are different characters to meet across the island of Eastshade. You'll get to make friends, learn about their lives, and help them out a little bit along the way. You'll get to trade your artwork for secrets and items and explore and enjoy the beautiful island. This game is essentially a very pretty walking sim. Games being pretty is nothing new, but everything in this game obviously has had a lot of artistic consideration behind it, and it feels like a lovely nature walk with enough story and quests to keep it engaging. But I'm not gonna lie here, because you're essentially fulfilling requests for paintings and thus having to walk, paint, and deliver, these can be categorized as fetch quests, though not in the same annoying sense as usual. So I understand if that's a deal breaker for some. If you want to check it out, Eastshade is available on Windows, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. So, anyone else obsessed with ancient languages, hieroglyphics, and archaeology when they were younger? While I'm not as obsessed as I once was, the interest hasn't gone anywhere, and I'm happy I stumbled upon Heaven's Vault as another way to capitalize on that interest. You play as Aaliyah, an archaeologist exploring a strange region of space, working to uncover the secrets of the past. Your investigation eventually leads you to the edge of the world, and to Heaven's Vault. This game is adaptive to what you do and how you play, so you can progress through the game any way you choose. The narrative will remember the choices, discoveries, and actions you make, which will, of course, influence what happens next. This is a very fun, explorative narrative adventure where the game is ultimately shaped by your curiosity. You'll get to meet a variety of characters, not all of whom are necessarily helpful. You'll have to be smart about who you trust as you work to piece together the history of the world. You can check this out on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This game intrigued me from day one. For starters, I am a sucker for a play on words. Blueprints, where you work with blueprints? I love it. But I also really love puzzle games. This game is interesting because you have a finite number of steps to make it to a hidden and elusive room somewhere in the mansion, and the layout of the mysterious mansions changes each day. You have no idea what room will be behind the next closed door. Actually, what room lays beyond is both up to you and RNGesus. You'll have to choose from a selection of 3 different rooms, and you kind of have to map as strategically as possible when designing the lay of the land. There's different secrets, both positive and negative effect. There's just a possibility of something being a help or a hindrance around every corner. This game is perfect for whittling away hours. There's some light music, but there's no combat, no enemies, nothing scary. Just you wandering the grounds of a 45-room mansion in hopes of finding the mysterious 46th room. It blends elements of multiple genres, a little strategy, a little puzzle, a little roguelike, and it's a great way to spend the afternoon, or spend the next few weeks like I did. Even once you beat the game, there are endless secrets to discover. Blueprints is available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5. Though I know this game had initially launched with many problems, as I understand it, Hello Games did a fantastic job of not letting their player base down, working instead to make constant improvements to make sure they fulfilled and later expanded on their initial promises to the community, which I absolutely love. I jumped into No Man's Sky after all this happened, so I honestly had a great experience from the get-go. I was searching for a game that had some sort of crafting elements, but where I also got to do something, you know? I didn't really want to have a passive experience, I wanted an active one, and No Man's Sky really filled that need. This is a game fully about exploration and survival in an infinitely procedurally generated universe, and it has over 30 hours of story. I love it because there is always something new to discover. It was so much fun identifying new planets, flora, fauna, remnants of different species and civilizations. The depth of No Man's Sky is astounding. Even the threats you face are varied. Could be different types of animals, could be some sort of ancient guardian, or it could just be the very planet you're on. It is such a satisfying and rewarding experience to explore in this game, and if you're not into the idea of doing the story and dealing with these sometimes dangerous planets, you can actually play this game in creative mode, so you can just build stuff, explore, and vibe. No Man's Sky is available on essentially every modern console, current gen, last gen, PC, and Mac. Does this entry surprise you? Can an MMO qualify for this kind of list? I definitely think so. It was hard to narrow down which one I wanted to include here, but Final Fantasy XIV won. I actually think this one fits a lot of my moods, but I genuinely love this game a lot. I was initially resistant to trying it out. I get pretty stuck in my ways, but my sister wore me down and got me to play. I think I immediately bought all of the expansions that were available at the time and went pretty hard on playing. MMOs are great because I can have a full social connection by playing with friends or pugs, or I can have social adjacent where I might join in conversations in the central hub cities or just as needed for a dungeon, or I can have a completely solo experience, just kind of waving as other players pass me by. It has been a while since I played, but I feel like I can always jump in and start up again. Plus, there's a ridiculous amount of content. Even if you're more of a hardcore player that has joined a company, there's always community events that get organized to keep you busy, though honestly that is the part of the game that I'm most unfamiliar with because I am a very casual player. It's hard to condense the story down in a way that will make sense in this quick blurb, but I know they often have free weekends and trials so you can check it out yourself. It's available on PC and Mac, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 4 and 5. This is another one that might be a surprising entry in this list, but it is one of my longtime favorites. It's also definitely one of those games that you can just take your time with, as there aren't any time limits on any of the puzzles, and this game definitely encourages you to explore all of your options, which thankfully, because some of the puzzles can be difficult. I'm one of those people that like to challenge myself, when it's on my terms and not in a work stress type of way. I'm exercising my brain a bit, you know? Curse of Monkey Island came out in 1997, and being the ripe old age of 5 meant at the time I needed a lot of help from my dad when playing. Sometimes I still do. This is a LucasArts game, which are known for their witty and sarcastic humor and plethora of logic puzzles and brain teasers. This is my favorite game in the Monkey Island series, and you play as Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pirate, who is trying to break the curse he accidentally placed on Elaine, his very recently established fiance. He's convinced the zombie pirate LeChuck is behind it all, and you'll have to solve puzzles, win banjo duels, and visit the voodoo lady to figure everything out. It's a very fun point-and-click adventure game with a super unique and fun world to explore. It's also got a very special place in my heart, but I really enjoy just playing through the story at any point. It's silly, funny, engaging. It just hits all the right points. It's available on PC through Steam and Galaxy of Games if you want to check it out, and you definitely should.
finally awake.
So this game was recommended quite a lot in my original video, but I left it out because I was specifically focused on no combat, super chill, cozy games. But don't worry, it's here now by popular demand. I feel like although Elder Scrolls has been around for quite some time as a franchise, Skyrim is really where it's at in terms of popularity. I don't think I've ever heard a game as consistently talked about as this one, and that's from everyone under the sun. It's hard to really encapsulate everything that Skyrim is, but the gist of the game's story is that you discover you're the Dragonborn, and you must defeat a dragon from fulfilling the prophecy to destroy the world. As far as RPGs go, I always thought the overall storyline seemed relatively basic, if I'm being honest. However, Skyrim is so much more than the story. It has infinite replayability, a deep-rooted lore, and near-infinite player freedom, and, of course, endless ways to poke fun at it. The game has really taken on a life of its own, and it's something that is so familiar and comforting at this point, I mean, it's been out for 14 years, that it is so easy to go back to. It's always kind of like going home. I remember my dad playing it, I remember my friends playing it, I obviously remember playing it. It's just always there, obviously, since they release a new version with practically every single console. Skyrim is available on almost everything, so you can really just pick your poison here. And that's all I have for you today. Hopefully, between this list and the last one, you might have found something that floats your boat. Please, though, keep the recommendations coming. I love trying out new things, and it's also just nice to see so many of us gravitate towards the same things for relaxation. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next video.